Welcome to a sermon recap for this week. We're continuing our series of sermons on the Exodus story called Journey to Freedom. And last week we talked about the story of the plagues. And this week we're talking about Exodus chapter 12, the story of the Passover, which is really about the 10th or last plague. And the idea was this last plague was the death of the firstborn, meant that every household that had firstborn child, that child would die unless they kept this Passover. And the Passover meant that the destroyer would pass over the house of the people and not kill the firstborn. Of course, this sounds like a horrible story about God doing these things, but it's actually a picture of what happens to us if we refuse to actually live a good life, instead embrace selfishness and hate, and how it destroys us and eventually kills what's really firstborn in our lives, which is love. Love is destroyed if we live in faith separate from a life of charity. We don't actually do what our faith believes. So the Passover was instituted by the Lord as a sign of remembrance of how the Lord freed the children of Israel from slavery. And it's a reminder to each one of us how the Lord can save us from our selfishness, our bad habits, the things that keep us trapped or in bondage to the things of hell. So Moses pictures the Lord's word, which can lead us out of that situation. But we have to listen to it and we have to follow. So what the children of Israel were commanded to do to keep this Passover was to kill a lamb and take the blood of the lamb and put it on the doorpost and lintel of the door. And if that happened, then the destroyer would pass over that home and they would be kept alive. And they were supposed to roast the lamb in fire and eat it. They were supposed to have unleavened bread and bitter herbs. And I'll talk about what all these things mean quickly here. So the blood of the lamb or sheep always picture innocence, a willingness to follow the Lord, a recognition that our life is from the Lord and not from ourselves, and that we have this willingness or desire to learn the truth and to live by it. That's what's pictured by the lamb and the blood of the lamb. So they had to take that blood and put it on the doorposts and the lintel of the door as a reminder to us is that we take the Lord's truth and it protects our mind. A doorway is like a mind, like our mind, we let things in, we keep things out. And when we have the truth in our mind and a willingness to follow it, it allows good things to come in, true things to come in, but it shuts out things that are destructive and protects us, protects our mind. So that's what that pictures. Again, the lamb pictures innocence, that willingness to follow the Lord. Do we have that willingness to do what we know is right, even if it's hard? And that's what the bitter herbs pictures, that, yeah, it's difficult. It's through the bitterness of temptations that we actually need to work through these things. Even though we're thinking about this and we're intending this hurtful thing, we won't do it because we know it's against the Lord's commands. And the unleavened bread, it was supposed to be unleavened because they didn't have time for it to rise, but also because leaven or yeast pictures falsity or a feeling of self-importance, which sort of puffs up our ego, makes it about us, that we are able to do these to escape from Egypt, to move forward, not because of our own strength, but because of the strength of the Lord. And that's what all that pictures. So they're supposed to do it with haste, have their sandals on their feet, have their belts around their waist so they could tuck in their robes, and their staff in their hand ready to go, which is a reminder to us, when we know what's right, do it. Don't delay, don't think about it and ponder it. There's a great saying that says, if the devil is a salesperson, don't haggle over price. It's like, if you know this is wrong, just say no, just walk away. So that's the story, and next week we'll get to the Red Sea, the parting of the sea. It's a dramatic story. Look forward to talking to you about that. Until then, wishing you peace. See ya.